There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions on what it is. We come across this all the time. So what we've done here is we've put a little presentation together to start with that tries to sort of personify what we mean by unified comms. So I'm not going to say anything for the next 20 seconds. I'm actually just going to watch. Basically, what that was a long 20 seconds, wasn't it? What that 20 seconds basically said was that everything you see here on this table is now available on a multitude of different portable handheld devices, laptops, desktops, any type of device. 15 years ago in consumer land, I was still in this business then. I know I don't look quite old enough, but I was. And interconnectivity services were just impossible to get between devices. I can remember, it was actually 2003. I can remember when the first HTC device really came into the mix. It was 2003 because it was phone edition 2003. I remember that very clearly, and it was the XDA. Who remembers the XDA? The HTC device. Hideous, absolutely hideous handheld. But it had GSM connectivity at that point, but that was really the start point. 2003 isn't that long ago. And in the last 7 years, we've come huge distance. And I think what we're seeing here, who recognises the relevance of the spirit level? Anyone? Anyone like to have a go? Anyone puzzled by the spirit level? Yeah. Well, I think it's more about the way that the screen goes on, both on the Windows 7 phone as well as the Apple devices now. It's that, you know, everything that we see, the spirit level application, the compass application, mapping, we've got pictures, we've got photographs, everything condensed together into a single place. And I think what we find, certainly within BT, is that a lot of the prime drivers for unified comms are coming from the consumer world. And most of, as IT people involved in your organisation, I am in my organisation as well, the lowest common denominator you're going to get is somebody who, as a consumer, can use collaboration tools. They can set up communities of interest. They can speak to people on the other side of the world and use all these tools online for nothing. And when they get to work, they find, in many cases, it's the opposite. You know, the applications are isolated. They haven't got the tools that they use in their personal lives, and they've not got what they need to make themselves collaborate and communicate to the best of their ability and the way that they would in their personal life. And bringing those two things together for us is a real challenge. Now, in BT, again, in your organisation, how many of you have had someone knock on the comms room door or on the IT director's door and say, well, can we have Skype? Can we have Skype in the business? You know, it's voice over IP. You know, it's free, you know. Has anyone had that? You had that? A few nods around the room. And what we're trying to do is, you know, I love Skype. For me, they're a great company, brilliant, I love them. And my Cisco colleagues and I, we tend to describe Skype as the greatest free online unified comms training organisation. Because somebody in consumer land who uses Skype can get a feel for presence, for IM, for video, for voice over IP, and for the different sort of circumstances when you'd actually use something like that. And a great example for me is my auntie got Skype. Okay, my auntie moved abroad, she went to France and she got Skype. And every time I switched on my PC, there she was on Skype. And every time she switched on her PC, there I was. Now, I don't know about many of you, but I used to speak to my auntie about once, twice a year. And every single day when that PC came on, that was a really uncomfortable position for me, seeing my auntie there, waiting for her to, waiting for me to say something. So pretty soon, she started to set her presence to away. And this is the sort of thing people learn in consumer land, is about how to actually use presence and use unified comms. So prime drivers from consumer land. Now, to us, from the user perspective, it's all about the user interface. Nothing else is important. As IT people, it's slightly more complex because we've got the issues of where we are today with the legacy and how we move forward and get through the migrations and the position that we're in to